Good morning, everybody. 8:10 a.m. It is September 3rd. Welcome to my channel. I was on a little vacation, so I wasn't there Thursday and Friday. Market's still in balance. That's what we're dealing with. And we basically have non-farm payrolls and unemployment on Friday, which should show more direction what the Fed's going to do. We already know the Fed's going to cut. The question is how much, all right? So if unemployment goes up again, that's really what you have to watch is the unemployment numbers on Friday to see maybe the Fed does a half point or a quarter point based on that. And you had that late month surge, the end of the month surge on Friday, which is typical. Some games get played towards the end of a month, maybe rebalance in portfolios or whatever, and that's what happened on Friday. So, without further ado, welcome to my channel. My name is Steven Gonzalez. I use volume profile, market profile to find structure in the markets, along with supply and demand, gamma exposure, levels, anchor VWAPs, and the most traded price of the year, the month, the week, and the preceding day. All gives me structure in the markets. It's my edge. That's how I read the market. All right. And then I come up with scenarios, basically. All right. So hopefully, every day you can join me, have a cup of coffee, have a tea, whatever, and subscribe to my channel and you join me because you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go over what happened the previous day, a recap of Friday. We go over news, economic calendar, earnings, upgrades, downgrades. We go over daily charts. All right, we go over the leaders and the laggards in the morning. We go over on the main event at 8:30 a.m. is my Nasdaq and my ES futures analysis, and that opens up the whole day for me for long and short scenarios. All right, for long and short scenarios. Now, when I do the long and short scenarios, that's just my game plan for the day. All right, it's my game plan for the day. And when the market opens, that's a whole new analysis. All right, it's a whole new analysis. Now, you can check my day trading analysis on my reels that I make, my shorts. You can go to my YouTube, you can go to my TikTok. You can check out, oh, what does he do when the market opens? And you can see that analysis because I used the Nasdaq and the futures analysis for to set up that. But then depends on what the market's doing because I don't know what the market's going to do when it opens, right? I don't know. I don't know what stocks are going to be hot, what's going to be pushing the Nasdaq or the ES. So that's about it. And then of course, if you enjoy my content, give me a thumbs up or a like. That'd be much appreciated. You can follow me on X at Gonzo719. And like I said, you can follow me on TikTok, Gonzo719 Trader. All right, you can check out my reels. All right, and you can see how I day trade. Okay, because that's a whole different thing when you analyze. I like to see confluence, and you'll see that in all my videos. I love to see confluence. All right, multiple things lining up together. All right, all right. So I think we're ready to get into this, into the watch list here, see what's going on, what's moving markets. Big orders hitting the tape in my ear. I don't know if you can hear that. I have alarms set for large orders over 100 lots in the ES. Um, let's just go here. Let's look at the watch list here. Oh, we got the VIX almost up 6% here. That's probably because of non-farm payrolls coming up on Friday. All right, as well as a little bit of sell-off from that late day surge on Friday. Okay, you got Bitcoin's up 0.84, dollars up 0.16, gold's up 0.10, 30-year bonds are flat, 10-year yield is basically flat, down 0.05, Ether is down 0.08, ES down 0.48. See, it's almost down 0.5%. Dow's down 0.48, Nasdaq's down more, down 0.6, Russell's down 0.84. Crude is getting hammered today, down almost 1%, and silver is down 1.30, the little volatile metal. Okay, down 1.3%. All right, now moving on to the Mag 7 Plus. Let's see what we got here. Tesla. I saw this morning that they did better in China. They're up 0.96. If you look at Berkshire Hathaway stock, it's literally been parabolic. It's literally been parabolic, sending the financial sectors to all-time highs. Okay, it's been parabolic. All right, it's Warren Buffett's company. So our fund, it's been on a tear. All right, and there's a pattern I'll get into in a little bit. What I see with that, Microsoft, it's kind of flat basically, down 0.12. Netflix down 0.19. Amazon down 0.24. Let's get to the bigger boys that are down here. We got Meta down 0.73. Broadcom's reporting earnings this week. They're down 0.98. AMD's down 1.16. Nvidia's down 1.97%. Okay, it continues to get price upgrades. All right, but it's just after the earnings, I guess people weren't as impressed as they should be, but it's still hanging around. Right, it's not like crazy down. Boeing got a downgrade. They are down 3.59%. I believe they're doing some kind of offering or something to dilute their stock. That's what's going on there. Now, moving on to top sector stocks. Let's see what we have going on here. There's not much leaders here. Walmart up 0.04 and PepsiCo down. Those are defensive stocks, right? They're staples. Now, let's get into the losers here. You got Salesforce down 0.55, McDonald's down 0.58, Chevron down 0.64 with probably the crude weakness, Exxon down 0.90, Qualcomm's down 1.18. All semis are getting hit today. Let's move on to swing trade list here. See what's going on here. We have Unity Software, I believe, got an upgrade. They're up 6.17%. Southwest, there's some Elliott group that now has 10% stake in the company that can call a meeting. We can get into that a little bit later. Bitcoin ETF's up 0.75. There's not a lot of leaders today. Tilray's up 0.58. Clorox up 0.44. Autodesk, I think they got some price target raises. But that's about it there. Let's go to laggards. You got Alcoa's down 2.09%. Taiwan Semis down 2.03%. Carnival Cruise Lines down 1.7. ARM, the semi, down 1.68. Baba's down 1.63. CME down 1.55. Micron down 1.5. Norwegian Cruise Lines down 1.45. Amara's down 1.38. Enphase down 1.27. Supermicro Computers, oof. They just keep falling. Intel's got a thing with the CEO. Like, I think he wanted to split up multiple divisions into different companies or something like that. They are really hurting. Then Royal Caribbean Cruise Line down 0.98. That's about all we're going to talk about there. All right, moving on to the guts. Sectors. All right. Let's see who's the leader. There's really not one. But that's defensive, followed by discretionary. That's Tesla moving that. That's why that's not as weak. Let's go to the real lagger here. Basic materials. We got financials down 0.37. Basic materials down 0.50. Energy's down 0.74. Technology, the big boy, down. That's 30%, over 30% of the sector weight in the S&P 500 is down 0.85. Semis are encompassed by they're included in really technology. So that's down 1.49%. Okay, 1.49%. A lot of semis are showing weakness today. Really, like I said, that's probably based on that late month surge, and that late month surge is just either profit taking from that late month surge, longs are liquidating, from that late month surge. I don't see it as anything bearish. We're still in balance, so that's what's going on. We can move on to the economic calendar. All right, let's look at this together. All right, so today we have S&P Global Manufacturing PMI. That is at 9:45. Then we have ISM Manufacturing PMI and manufacturing employment at 10 a.m. So I am probably going to steer clear of any day trades around these times. Just it's not worth it unless I see something at 9:36, 9:35. That has to be a golden triple A setup. I'm gonna steer clear and wait for the dust to settle. All right, now tomorrow, what do we have? Jolts jobs. Thursday we have S&P. We have initial jobless claims, and then S&P Global Composite and Global Services and ISM Services. That's very important. Again, more 9:45 and 10 a.m. So like this week's going to be filled with, you got 10 a.m. on. So it's kind of tricky to really trade before 10 a.m. this week so far. Friday you got non-farm payrolls and unemployment. So interesting here. We had 4.3% unemployment previously. We're expecting 4.2, which is interesting. All right. If it ticks up to 4.5 or something like that, people are going to be starting to be scared of a recession. Okay. That's the economic calendar. All right. Now, let's look at some. Let's see what the juice got for us. Last time I checked, there wasn't much there. Not really anything super crazy important here. Um, let's look at some other news here. Tesla stock rose 0.7% with the electric vehicle manufacturer logging the best month in China, like I spoke about. Let's see. Boeing stock fell 3.5 after the brokerage Wells Fargo downgraded the plane maker to underweight from equal weight, saying an equity raise will likely further dilute shares. That's what I talked about earlier. Unity Software stock rose 5.5 after Morgan Stanley upgraded its stance on the software development company to overweight from equal weight. Intel stock fell 1.2 with Reuters reporting that CEO Pat Gelsinger is set to present a strategic overhaul to its board of directors later this month aimed at streamlining its operation, cutting costs. Autodesk stock rose 0.2 after the software group's second quarter results were mostly well above consensus. All right, that's what's going on there. Let's see if there's anything new here. Nothing really that I want to see here. Let's go to more news. We talked about Tesla. There's that Southwest news. It says Elliott now owns enough of Southwest Airlines to call special meeting. Elliott Investment Management now holds 10% of Southwest Airlines common stock, crossing the threshold that allows the hedge fund to call a special meeting at the carrier, according to a person familiar with the matter. Just trying to see what else is here that I was looking at. Oh, Apple iPhone is going to be looking to do OLED displays in the phone. It says sold in 2025 and afterwards, moving completely away from liquid crystal displays. Interesting. So here's Berkshire Hathaway. Billionaire Warren Buffett's firm has once again cut its stake in Bank of America, which is share sale worth roughly $845 million. A regulatory filing showed on Friday the conglomerate run by one of the world's most revered investors has offloaded shares worth more than a combined $6 billion in the second largest U.S. bank in 7 rounds of share sales since July. Berkshire, Bank of America's top shareholder, disclosed that it has sold roughly 21.1 million shares of the bank between August 28th and August 30th. Whew. Okay. So it looks like Ford here, the automaker would recall 90,736 vehicles as engine intake valves in the vehicles may break while driving. That's obviously not good for Ford. I think we could, and then I know Walt Disney. I was talking to my mother. She had DirecTV and she had no ABC. So looks like the DirecTV failed to reach a new distribution deal with ESPN, ABC, and other Disney-owned networks. I'm sure that will get worked out, but that's not good. All right. All right, let's look at upgrades and downgrades now. So let's look at our upgrades and downgrades. Autodesk upgraded from a hold to a buy. I also upgraded from a sell to a neutral. Bank of America upgraded from a hold to a buy. Let's see who else. Southwest upgraded. Unity Software upgraded. Wells Fargo upgraded. Here we go. Let's go to downgrades. CME Group downgraded. MasterCard outperform to neutral, downgrade it. Okay, let's look at initiations. Initiated coverage. Let's see here. If anything to note. Nope. Move on to price target changes. Let's go to target raises first. Love it. I'm a proud owner of Viva Systems. They had nice earnings. They got a target raise from 197 to 207. Who else? Progressive got target raised from 255 to 275. Let's see here. And we're getting the target lowered. Let's see here. Alphabet, Google got target lowered from 205 to 190. Interesting. Gap, target lowered 29 to 26. All right. All right. That's about it there. Now, earnings. We can get into earnings. I'm trying to see if I covered everything. I believe I did. We can get right into earnings now. Pretty much done with most of the important ones. But let's see what we have today after the close. Is there anything? Not really. Tomorrow before the open, we got Dick's Sporting Good, Dollar Tree, Hormel Foods. Tomorrow, AI. After the close, Hewlett Packard. And then before the open on Thursday, Neo. And then Thursday, really the big one is Broadcom. Okay, Broadcom. Heavily weighted stock. All right. Broadcom is the big one, but I believe this week, DocuSign. That's really it for the week is Broadcom. That's really it. All right. I think we can move over to some daily charts here. All right. Let's look at the SPY together. We're just in balance. Big time balance. Queuing up big energy. All right. We're going to do something big. We're going to do something big here, folks. All right. Where are we at now? 560. What's it called? 561. So we're in the middle of Friday's range. Horrible, horrible trade location. Horrible. All right. You're in the middle of balance. Worst trade location. Okay. You're going to test one side of that balance today. Which side it is, who knows? Do we really do something before non-farm payrolls? Probability, no, but anything can happen, right? Anything can happen. We still got all-time highs at 55, 65, 16 in our sights, and I would say about 555 is the bottom of balance. Okay. We closed over the 9 EMA daily, still holding up the market. Let's look at a live look. Futures. Here's our balance. Look at this level right here. Right here. 2 weeks in a row, that's been the highs, really. We're talking about 56.70 in the ES. Write it down. 56.70. Right? That's the top of the range. You can see here we're in the middle of Friday's range. And yeah, we're just in balance. We're just in balance. 57.21.25 is all-time high in futures. Now remember, this is the back adjusted contract, not the continuous contract. Okay. Moving on to the Qs. Took the Qs together. All right. So they don't have the beautiful balance the ES does because it's been relatively weak. The Nasdaq. See how it's playing around with this 50-day moving average, still holding above it. 9 EMA daily, still holding above it, but they're kind of flat. That just tells you what's been going on in this market. Okay. Where are we now? 473.70. 473.70. Right here. Right at like the 50-day moving average. And again, right at the midpoint of Friday's session. Okay, just not great location. Okay, now let's see if I have any key levels here to talk about here. Yeah, 474 is a key level here. 484, 485 is a key level. All right, we have this trend line here, but really, I would say to the downside 468, 467. Okay, we could push up to here. Hit this downtrend line would be around 482 and then 485. Last week's highs. Okay, last week's highs. So we just have to see. Remember, it's been relatively weak. Now you do have resistance here. A double top in the daily around 478. So if you break 478, you're probably going to test this trend line. It's probably what's going to happen. All right. Now let's look at the NASDAQ futures so we get a live look here, how it really looks here. So you can see it's been boom, 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 down, hit the 100-day moving average and the 20-day simple moving average, bounced off that, held the 90 EMA daily, and now like in futures, you're just like around the 50-day moving average, right? Hanging out here. I mean, this could look like an inverse head and shoulders here, which is bullish pattern, and right there around 196, let's call it 196 or 197. If you break that, you can get a clear view of like the 2200, let's see, 214. So that's 20,014. Okay, so that's a very key level in the futures. Write it down, 197, 197. All right, so that's a look at the daily charts. All right, and then of course we got to talk about the triple-headed monster and that 10-year yield. And you can see the 10-year yield has been rising. Okay, the 10-year yield has been rising. I honestly, I'd like to see it come up to 4, just because of my own what I want to do, my own management of my portfolios and stuff like that. I'd love to see it come up to 4 before we get any kind of FOMC stuff. But we're just hanging around here. Okay, you see these swing lows here. We're kind of just hanging around. Probably unemployment is going to really determine stuff. Okay, this Friday. All right, now let's look at the dollar. The dollar also had those swing lows that it was dealing with. Remember these swing lows I talked about? Well, that was support. And now the dollar has been made a little move lately. Okay, coming up to try to test this 20-day simple moving average here. I have to see, the dollar's getting some love a little bit. Like I said, I expected this a little bit. It held 100. Okay, now what does that mean? It means probably the euro is has having some weakness. See, right there, euro's pulling back. Now I heard the yen this morning made a little move against the dollar. Now, let's see if that's true. Not really. I mean, yeah, a little bit. It's got a wick. Not really. Not really. All right, let's go to that third head, the VIX. The VIX is above 16. As long as we stay above 16, that's a 1% expected move in the S&P 500 plus or minus. So still good volatility. Now what I saw this morning, which was nice, was the relative volume is pretty good, really good this morning. You know that you were probably done with summer trading volume, which I'm liking that summer trading volume. Because now all big boys are back in the game. They're not back at their desks or back remotely, whatever. So we should have some good volatility and volume now. So look for some nice moves in this market. All right, look for some nice moves in this market. That is your triple-headed monster. Now we get to the main event, and we're going to look at ES and NASDAQ market profile. Okay. Not sure who we have with us today. If it's G-Man, if it's Rosita, those are the mainstays. Um, but Rosita's a busy woman. I'm sure G-Man, um, I'm not sure what he does. I don't know him personally, but he's loyal. There he is. There he is. Good morning. All right, so we had a little baby session yesterday. So what I'm going to do with this session, I usually take these and I merge them. I'm just going to merge that, make that all one overnight session. All right, that's what I'm going to do there to make this reading this a little easier. Okay, so we're looking at structure. Let me get my marker, and we're looking at the market profile and volume profile in the ES currently. Okay, let me get my marker out. Alrighty. All right, so what do we have here? Now, if I'm looking at the rolling profile, okay, of the week, we have excess down here, value area, it's the highlighted blue. That's value area. What's up, Rosita? And then we have this with no excess. Okay. Now, this is a bullish imbalance to the profile. Okay. Bullish imbalance. What does that mean? Because if you know volume profile, a complete profile has excess at the bottom and the top. This has no excess to the top. So, what can I expect from the profile would be excess to make the profile a bell curve. This doesn't predict, but generally, when you have a profile like this, it has bullish imbalance. It's imbalanced. You need to make it balanced. Okay. So value area here, no surprise, is right here. Price at 56.36. Okay. No surprise. No surprise. And we're in ultimate balance still, right? So the nice trader price of the month is right here. That price is 56.37. I did a reel on one of my trades last week about that level. Okay, that's the most traded price of the month. The most traded price of the week is down here. That is 56.10. Now I just consider this together ultimate balance. Okay, we need to get away from these levels to cause max pain for somebody. That's really all ultimate balance is. It's max pain for somebody, shorts or longs. If everybody is trading these prices over the last month and the week, shorts and longs, is once you do a move, extended move, it's going to be big. It's going to be big. Who knows which way? It's going to be big. And we've been balancing for a good amount of time now, coiling up that energy. Coiling up that energy. All right. Now, this is a really ugly looking profile in the overnight. Okay, really ugly looking. But we know we have our value area here, here. We're in the middle of value, right? So all I care about is when we test these edges. I know what we're going to do here. Exactly. Exactly, G-Man. So what we're going to do here in the middle of this balance area is horrible, horrible trade location. Now, what do I know we're going to do? We're going to do this today, or we're going to do this today. So I will be ready for here or here. This is called inside out because you're in the middle of a huge balance area. You got to push out and test one of these sides. Okay, that's what's going to happen. Now, why do I say it's bad trade location? Okay, because to me it's like a 50-50. It's a chop zone. So you're going to get faked out a lot in here. If you enter and you're like, I'm going to go long, which you're not going to know really. And I'm going to go long, right? And it might fake you out and go this way, right? And all I'm saying is if you enter here, get ready to get chopped up. You will get a move down here or down here. You will. It's just when you're enter trades in these zones, they're just so choppy. It's not worth it. I'd rather wait for a test outside of that range. That to me, that's easier. Okay, that's exactly on diddle in the middle. You're firing on all cylinders today, G-man. So exactly, it doesn't matter. Now here's the thing, right? Here's the thing about trading. When I first started, like you want to fight what somebody with experience says because you're like, why not? What if I want to go long here, right? The game. This is all a game of probabilities over time, and what's easier over time. Because even if someone was new, okay, and this was me, I could talk about myself. And I remember I would have a mentor, and they'd be like, "Well, I don't go long here. I don't do short here. This doesn't make sense." And then I would go long and make money doing this trade, and being like, "That doesn't make sense. Why is this guy saying that?" Because I'm talking about one trade that I made money on. Now I think I know more, but you don't. That's because this game's a game of probabilities. It's not about being right for one trade. So it's very important. And I didn't understand that fully or didn't want to understand it in the beginning because you just want to make money. But it's the game of probabilities and math in the long run, right? That's all it is. Because you can go also blindfolded into traffic. And what if you make it across, right? You made it. Does that make it safe to do that? Or, do that 10 more times and you're probably going to get hit by a car, unfortunately, right? So I know I went deep into that analogy, but I just wanted to make sure that everybody understands that why I say that, right? Because anything can work once, twice. 3 out of 10 is not even good. That's what I'm talking about, right? If you're shooting free throws and you're 3 out of a 10, you're not a good free throw shooter. So just I want to make sure that point is understood. And even as I'm speaking, someone could be listening and being like, I went long and he said not to do anything, and that's fine. Like I'm saying, I was one of those people, so I understand that. Enough of that diatribe. Let's get into key levels here, all right? And all we're talking about here is the edges. That's all I care about today, really. All right, so what do we do if we come down to the most traded price of the week and this demand zone? What do we do? Extreme low balance, what do we do down here? Right? And then to the top here, uh, what are we doing up here? This got supply zone up here. You got a gap overhead still. This gap is unfilled. What do we do if we hit those areas? That's what I'm interested in. That's really it. Okay. Now let's look at some nuance. Is there nuance here? Got some single prints here. Not really. Not really. Okay, you got the most traded price of the overnights right here. This is, I would guess, the way this is looking, we probably do this. Because you're getting kind of a bearish imbalance to this profile here. Okay. And you just had these longs. Okay. And this come up here from Friday. Yeah, they might get liquidated. Right? So like I said, I'm trying to see what we can look at together to see like, oh, okay, this is like a real key level. I just showed you. Okay, so I want to get right into the scenarios. Okay, now again, coming off a holiday weekend, I'm gonna sit back, and now I'm automatically gonna sit back because of the 9:45 and the 10 a.m. news, or automatically gonna do that. So let's get into scenarios. Okay, now like I said, bull. Here we go. We know that our most traded price of the week is 56.10. Okay, and demand here. right here. All right, right there. We know Friday's lows here. Okay, very important. What do we do? So price, which I think most likely can't hold above this most traded price of the month, probably going to take a little visit down here. And how it responds into the zone, who knows? All I care about, it can't hang out below there, find acceptance. I want to see something like this, higher low, and you probably go back to the mean and then try to test the other side of balance. Now, what if we break this? Well, we still have this swing low down here, 55.61. Okay, this isn't bearish, this isn't weak. If we move down here, what do we do here? If we start doing this, higher low, we're going to maybe make it to here, then make it to here. That's it. That's all I care about on this side. Okay, now remember, what's the story? Story is rate cuts, FOMC, September. What else is the story? Unemployment and non-farm payrolls on Friday. If you get an uptick in unemployment. Now remember, we don't know what the numbers are going to be until Friday morning. So do you want to be caught holding the bag out of balance, thinking you know what's going to be the number? That's the story, right? So it's all about de-risk. Even if we fall out of bed down here, I would still be like, do I really want to be holding this short? No. Again, though, this is probabilities. Anything can happen. I'm just talking about generally what happens, right? Let's keep that in mind. Now let's go to the short side. Okay, we do have 56. I would say 56.65 to 56.68 is basically a weak high. Then you got a gap overhead. What is that gap exactly in futures? We have bottom of this gap, 56.72 to 56.90. That's a gap. Okay, if that gap acts as resistance, that is bearish. Okay, that is bearish. So this is where sellers have to step up, right? Now, like I said, this most traded price of the month, we can use this. Okay, we can use this. Okay, like I said, we're going to do an inside out move. We're going to test here or here. There's two ways you can look at this. Okay, you're at the worst trade location, right? However, right, we know sellers have to step up here. Okay, this is another area that you can probably play off of. Now, what if we do like something like this? Open up, we cross this most traded price, right? Let's say we do this. Then there's single prints here. You clean those singles. Now, one or two things can happen. You do real quick move up into the supply, get rejected, go under this and hold. Now you're gonna look right here to take this out, the overnight lows, and you're gonna probably test this area. Okay, this is demand, right? This is the most traded price of the week. Now remember, this is a bearish scenario. If we take this out, boom, like this, and hold under here, we're probably going to go down to here and test this level, which I would probably think we do probably a bounce after that. All right, now that's using this kind of level. Now we could obviously easily just go straight up to here, nip at this gap, get rejected, lower high, and people de-risk again. We go right to the middle of the balance area, to the mean, and we probably balance off. Or, sorry, do one of these and follow this. All right, we can go all the way down to here. Multitude of ways, but the only time, like the important thing is, I want to see sellers step up here. And again, same thing. I don't want to be long holding for non-farm payrolls and unemployment. I don't want to be holding the bag. Okay, that's what I'm seeing in the ES. All right, now let's look at the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq does look different because it doesn't have this beautiful balancy area. Okay, Let's look at it together. Now I'm going to merge this right here so we can get rid of that being separate. There we go. There's the merged profile. All right. Now we're in ultimate balance as well here. Let's move this up so we can see our profile. Now the profile here is also a bullish imbalance. Okay. So we have excess down here. Then we go into our value area. And then we go up here and we have a little excess, but still a bullish imbalance to the profile, right? What would make this a complete profile or something like this? So we're queuing up to go higher. Doesn't mean we have to. That's just my assessment on the volume profile for the rolling week. Okay, so all that is. Now, where's price? Right here. 195.12, right? This is the most traded price of the month. We have 196. 196 is just a huge level. Okay, huge. You need to establish value over it to be bullish. Below it, bearish. It's the line in the sand. Okay, so let's look at this together, right? The most traded price of the week is 195.50. So this is just ultimate balance. Okay, that's all it is. And like I said before, the more you coil here, the bigger the move. Bigger the move. In which way? I don't know. I don't care. I just know a big move is coming. Okay, nobody knows the timing of it, but we have a catalyst coming on Friday morning. Okay, catalyst coming on Friday morning. All right, so looking at this, let's look at this. Let's look at some levels here. All right, let's look here. Now, the most traded price on Friday was here, and that happens to line up with our overnight low. It's kind of a weak low. Okay, so that's one I'm looking at. We have a weak high up here, kind of almost like a balance high. I would say it's from 196.94 to 196.83. So these single prints really signify the top of this level, like right here, basically, this area. That's the balance highs for the NASDAQ. That's that big level I talked about, 197 earlier. It's just a monster level. All right, we bust through that and hold it. That's very bullish. All right, and you'll be above this monster level ultimate balance, so that's all good. All right, that's the level. Now on the low, to the low side, all right, we have like 193, 93 to 193.70, like right in here, this area here. You have a gap here. Okay, the top of that gap is 193.37 right here. What do we do if we come into this gap? It's an unfilled gap. Okay, I hear large orders hitting the tape. All right, what do we do when we come down here? Okay, so we have areas in play now. Right, we're not exactly in ultimate balance right up here, but we're close enough to it. We're basically, look what price is right here in the middle of this profile. It's not the best location, right? All right, and we have demand here, supply here. We're in balance. Not as beautiful as balance that we are in the ES, but we're in balance. All right. Now, trying to see here what we're going to do. And it's pretty easy. Pretty easy. Let's go right into the scenarios. All right. Let's talk about the bull case. All right. All I care about right now is this area. Okay. We got the most traded price of Friday right here. This hot pink box. And so we have this area all the way down to Friday's lows. What does buyers do here? Do they defend it? All right. Do they defend it? Now, I wouldn't care. Like, to me, remember, 97% of all overnight highs and lows get touched in real-time trading hours. So even if we come down here, take out the overnight low, and we come down to Friday's lows, what does it do? Do we bounce higher low, higher low? Probably going back to ultimate balance at least, right? And then see if you can hold, and maybe break out. Like I said, breakout, I don't know, because you probably don't want to be holding the bag before Friday, but it's happened before. Okay, if the internals, to me, if I'm in this trade and let's say I get long from down here and we bust through this level, we hold, we break out and everything looks strong, I'm holding. I'm holding for the day. I might not hold overnight, but I'm holding. Okay, I don't care about the de-risking. I'm just intraday trading, right? I'm not gonna hold it though. All right, so that's one. Now, I think a bear trap could happen as well. Now, why? Not why, but look at the structure. Let's if we take out Friday's lows, okay? You have this gap, and you have a couple demands down here. You could, if you don't fill the gap, and let's say you just partially come in and you wick out of this demand and you start going like this, we are definitely going to go back into this area and de-risk. So this to me could be bear trap when gap, unfilled gap acts as support when it shouldn't. That's your key to be like, all right, we're going back to the mean. All right, that's what I'm looking for. Pretty simple. I'm going to be really try to wait for exhaustion. You want to really wait, and sometimes it's hard to wait for exhaustion and for some kind of person to be in pain. That's how I like the day trade. All right, I like to see exhaustion. Unless it's like I have a couple setups where I don't have to look for super exhaust. Like, well, I'd like to look for it, but there's a couple setups that I have personally that don't set up like they're enter nows. They're not like, ooh, let me wait, let me really wait and study this. No, they're like enter now, set stop, and like go, let it go. But then there's some where I'm like, nope, I need to see a knife in the ground, high or low, and then you take your time. So there's like different types of trades, right? All I care about in the Nasdaq is 197 up here. That's all I care about for the short side. All right, so we can come down here, push up, boom. Now remember, this is the monster level. What does it do when we come into the supply zone in 197? If it swiftly rejects it, higher low, okay? And let's say we come from down here. Now you got longs from down here, right? Well, it's all about this level. If we slice through this level and just go back, we're going to probably test the bottom of this balance. That's how it's going to work. Okay? That's how it's going to work. Now, what else could happen is price down here can have a hard time dealing with 196. Okay, so let's clean this up a little bit. If price does this, comes up, has a real hard time establishing any kind of acceptance above 196, and you got monthly VWAP here at 195.72. Monthly VWAP is brand new though, so September monthly VWAP. So, but if you have trouble, you're also gonna find yourself going lower. Now remember, this is the most traded price of Friday in the overnight low. So if you break that, you're going to get some nice movement, probably down and test Friday's lows at 193.70. Now it all depends of what we do down here. Maybe we even fill the gap today and then bounce and de-risk. It's multitude, right? But the genesis of everything today is play with edges. Okay, it's really the moral of the story here. So that's some large orders hitting the tape constantly in my ear, boy. And that could be crude. I'm not sure. All right. Anyway, that's going to do it for today, everybody. All right. I'm back. We have a shortened week. Hopefully, everybody understood what I'm saying here. If you didn't, leave a comment. All right. That would be much appreciated. Now, of course, if you're new and you haven't yet, please subscribe, set an alert. Do this every day, 8:10 a.m. Now it is going to be 8:10 a.m. every day. Now my daughter is going back to kindergarten, first grade tomorrow. So like I don't have any kind of deviation from the 8:10 a.m. It's going to be 8:10 a.m. every day. All right, 8:10 a.m. every day. All right, now if you enjoyed my content, please give me a thumbs up or a like. That would be much appreciated. Yeah, as always, you can follow me on X at Gonzo719. And like I said, if you want to check out my YouTube shorts of my trades, you can check out my YouTube and my TikTok, Gonzo719 Trader. Okay. Everybody, have a great day. Stay green, stay patient. Remember, 9:45 news, 10 a.m. news. Let it settle. Let the dust settle. and then do some analysis. Okay, after that. All right. Everybody have a great day, and I'll see everybody tomorrow.